Round card girl L.
When you're naked in front of, a whole bunch of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 2 presented by Sterling Bowl, your full-service bowling center with food and drink on the corner of 24 Highway and Sterling. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Jonathan Russell. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, Sean Atkinson.
If you heard me trying to talk over Stephen St. John.
Your referee is Nick Nolte.
I was mentioning naked men. What I meant by that was when you get naked for the first time in public as a fighter, you don't realize how anxious that can be, being in your underwear about to fight. So there's a lot, there's a lot going on here when it's your MMA debut. It's a scary situation. Let's see how Sean Atkins handles this.
Both these guys look calm and collected as they start off here. Both men exchanging kicks to the body right off the bat.
Yeah, both fighters are throwing hard strikes in the pocket and looking to be extremely comfortable in a punching range. They're both in striking range. They both seem to be comfortable and have an idea on what they want to happen. That body kick seems to be landing. Atkinson's not moving back at all, answering with the right hand after every shot.
Yeah, both these guys are throwing haymakers, but they're not wild strikes. They're set up with either kicks or the punches are setting up the kicks, one of the two.
That leg kick hurt him. Atkins lands a hard leg kick that stunned Blake.
He uses it to close the distance to get to the cage here, but separates immediately.
Oh, man. The leg kick is answered with a hard overhand right.
Yeah, you can tell he's doing a really good job listening to his corner as well. As soon as Grant Dawson called for the low calf kick, he threw it right away.
Yeah, Atkins seems to like to lead with the left hand and then follow with a big right hand behind it. He's having some success with it.
Oh, big right hand by
from Blake
Phillips.
Blake punches him square in the jaw and stuns him.
Atkinson trying to wrap up, still eating some strikes here.
Atkins trying to close the space here. What he needs to do is close the gap, but there's a lot of space, and Blake is throwing big shots here. Atkins able to find his feet.
Lands a right hand of his own.
Atkins finds his feet.
Seems to recover quickly. Let's see if he can get the momentum back in his favor.
Blake seems to be slowing down on his lead with that left hand, right hand combination.
Yeah, he touched him with that right hand before, and already can tell that he's really looking to land it again. He keeps winging it in there. Ever since he landed it the first time, he's really trying to find another home for it, and he does right there.
Another huge hand from Blake. Takedown entry from Sean Atkins. Blake finds the right side underhook, stuffs the takedown, finds the fence to find the backside.
To be a cut over the left eye of Atkinson.
And Blake runs across the takedown, finishing a takedown in the last 10 seconds of the round. The last 10 seconds of each round can be crucial to the judges because it is the last thing that they see here. Blake drops Atkins with a huge right hand, almost finishes him in a TKO, and then scores a takedown. So I'd say it's round 1 for John Blake, but an awesome round as far as two guys willing to exchange in the pocket.
Yeah, and for a guy making his debut, Atkinson really did a good job listening to his corner and staying composed in that chaotic situation of getting dropped there. And it's interesting to see how he can come out here in round 2 and turn it back around.
Yeah, Atkins with his ability to absorb damage, that one thing that he's shown, Blake is going to have a tough task in his hands to be able to keep staying up on Atkins. A lot of times we've seen in MMA fights a guy's ability to absorb damage will eventually, I don't want to say break the fighter, but eventually a fighter slows down. And so, this could be one of those cases where Blake could have Atkins's number as far as, punching combinations and timing, but a guy like Atkins that can absorb damage and stay in the fight can make things competitive and gritty. So I'm anxious to see what this second round looks like. That's going to tell the story.
Yeah, Blake found a home for that right hand in round 1 twice and is really favoring it now. He's really just looking for any opportunity he can to wing in that right hand, but nice head kick by Atkinson.
Atkins seems to be looking for the head kick in this round. He had some success with the low kick in round 1, now going high with it. He lands a low kick and 2 right hands. Blake looking for the guillotine.
Atkinson finishes the single, see if he can pass here to save himself from the guillotine, and he does so.
Atkins uses that guillotine choke to run a single leg takedown right into side control. Stepping over.
Passes into Mountain, clears his head free from the guillotine.
Oh, and we have a tap.
Blake is going to tap to strikes there.
John Blake seemed to be tired of fighting. That's kind of what I was explaining in round number 1, where you have a guy who has the better timing, the better timing on the strikes, maybe the better punching combination, but at the end of the day, may not have the heart and desire and wants that the other fighter has. So I think this was a clear case of one of the fighters wanted it more than the other. I think that's pretty obvious here. Blake was able to win round 1 decisively with a big overhand right, but just couldn't handle the fact that Sean Atkins was here and ready to fight and absorb damage, and eventually he quit.
I think Blake is complaining about a knee injury here. You can see he had a brace on to begin with, but I wonder if something happened in that takedown that.
Yeah, getting mounted will definitely you'll start to decide that it's no longer convenient to be fighting. When you're up
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end at 1 minute and 23 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by TKO out of the red corner, Sean Atkinson.
Yeah, great performance there by Sean Atkinson to really get through